Hello friends, this is Promi and welcome back to the Kerbal Commonwealth Space Agency. It's been some time since Holly, Bill and Bob returned from the Mün, and the administration has been considering how overworked Bill and Bob are, since they are our only flight engineer and field scientist. So we're going to go to the astronaut complex and hire us a couple new astronauts. So we need one scientist and one engineer, so we're going to grab Kirksey and Madhya. So welcome Kirksey and Madhya. Of note here is that I have used the custom barn kit mod to set my hire cost at a flat 25,000, which is somewhat higher than the normal starting cost, but it does not, I have disabled the increasing with roster size, because that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I just have it pegged at 25,000. Now we have our 635 science to spend, so let's go to the R&D and see what we can get. Okay, so we have a lot of 300 cost nodes here. Mostly 300s. RCS thrusters would be 150, engine miniaturization 90, and supersonic aerodynamics would be 90. I would have wanted to be able to get some larger engines, so it wouldn't have to go engine crazy like we did on the our Mün rocket, the L6 Inferno. So the skipper would be nice to have, but this node heavy rocketry costs 550 science, and we have to unlock advanced alloys to get there, and that would be 300, so we cannot get that at the moment. Could get advanced alloys, but I think more important right now might be prioritizing science gathering ability. So field and particle measurement here would unlock us several different experiments along with some new antennas. So I'm going to grab field particle measurement. I'm going to unlock these two experiments right away, the magnetometer boom and the, what is this, radio and plasma wave science instrument, yes. And there's one more little surface experiment package thing here. Actually, don't think this works in atmospheres, and we're not going to be sending crew to another Mün or another moon, either the Mün or Mismis, right away, so we'll leave that for now. So we still have 335, so we could get a 300 cost node or some cheaper stuff. So crew endurance has mobile processing lab, which could be good. Also got a bunch of life support systems here. So what else we got? Actuators is robotics parts. Advanced alloys we could grab now. It's larger fuel tanks and such, and paves the way to our larger engine. We could also get engine miniaturization, which is pretty cheap, but will enable us to build more efficient probes, since we won't have to use that rather large LV909 for our probe's upper stage. So I think I'm going to grab engine miniaturization, and that leaves us with 245, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. We'll come back once we have some more science to spend. Okay, now let's head over to mission control, see what contracts Gene has. And let's see. Some of these we can pick up right away. if they don't have a expiry date on them. Most of these Explorer contracts do not, so we will pick up Explore Ike and Explore Duna and Fly by the Sun, since those will never expire. What else do people like us to do? Got a contract to take one of those new engines we just unlocked up to what is this? High altitude, high atmosphere, but not space. I think we'll grab that one. And let's see, Rockamax brand decoupler into orbit of Kerbal. 500 kilometer orbit. I think probably in our Minmus mission we will be potentially using one of those. We'll pass through that orbit threshold, so can pick it up now. It's good for 340 days. So we will be heading to Minmus by then. These ones that want me to reposition my satellites, those are not so good because those satellites have pretty much no fuel left in them. I kind of want them to stay where they are. See, we've got a bunch of tourist contracts, multi-moon flyby, over the South Pole, that's suborbital. Maybe that'll be something to do. Relay satellite above the Mün. Not a huge amount. Let's see. We do want to give our new astronauts something simpler to do before they go to Minmus, because it will be Kirksey and Madhya, and either Jebediah or Valentina heading to Minmus. Should this position a satellite in specific orbit around the Mün? It sounds interesting. It'll give us some science and a good amount of cash. Might want to send another probe there with our new instruments before we send our astronauts to Minmus. This will be a good test for all our new probe gear. So I think that one sounds good. Let's grab that. Okay, let's leave the facility here. Well, I think we're going to design a new lightweight probe, the new engines. We also have some new probe cores, which we haven't used yet. Were unlocked previously. Do some experiments around Kerbal, go to the Mün, do some experiments around there, and finish that contract. Sounds like good stuff. So let's head to the VAB. Alright, we're just going to make a small little efficient probe here. So let's start with this Probodobodyne Octo. There we go. And let's put a small fuel tank on it and our little spark engine. Okay, so that's the base of it. Now I do like using those little batteries for kind of probe eyeballs, so I'm going to use them again here. We need an antenna on here. The DTS-M1 would satisfy that contract's requirements, but I think for future proofing I'm just going to use the big Commutotron 8888. This way it will be able to communicate with our interplanetary probes once we start sending them to other planets. Sort of an interesting suckerfish face. Okay, now we need our new experiments. So put the magnetometer on the front. That's how that looks. And we also need our RPWS antenna, which I will put here, I guess. Yep. Okay, what else do we need here? We need some power got those new solar panels that were added in 1.1 from the Asteroid Day mod, the OXStat XLs. Put a pair of those on here. And let's take a look at that contract again. We need a mystery goo and an accelerometer. This one actually I don't know if we're going to be able to do on this mission. We might need a dedicated test rocket for that because this speed is pretty slow for this altitude. So I think we will forget about that for the time being. But we do need a mystery goo and accelerometer. Now, is there anything I am forgetting? Nope, our mystery goo seems to be on there twice. And our seismic as well. Okay. Let's put a decoupler on here. Just a little one will be sufficient. And I want a fairing. I think I'm gonna unlock this raised fairing base just so we have some clearance. And as for the main rocket, this thing actually weighs very little, so don't think we need much. I think I want the L5, so it's our most modern small rocket. So I'm just gonna save this, put our flag right. And what shall we call it? I haven't thought about that yet. Guess we've got lots of little pointy bits on here. So we will call it the pin cushion. Okay, save that and let's load up our L5, which is what we use to lift the Spyglass series into orbit. Okay, I think we'll make it a little bigger than this. Yeah, I think I actually want one of these big tanks on the bottom, so we're going to have to just remake this anyway. But we'll use the same swivel engine and ABT1 winglet configuration. Let's throw our fairings on here. And need about 3 of these. Or I think 3, maybe 2. Swivel. Nope, these are in the wrong stage. Let's put our fairings up here. This actually looks like more than we need. Let's reduce this a bit. Might be good. Okay. Put these winglets on here. Okay, now that's not good. Okay, I guess I needed those 3 tanks after all. Yep, okay. Sort our fins out and use that little red bit on the engine as a guide. That's what I usually do here. Okay, pretty simple. I think we've gotten everything we need on our probe. Just check here. Got our command stuff, science, antennas. Got the things we need for our contract. And yep, looks pretty good. Okay, let's get some launch clamps. Too many. There we go. Put it down. And put these in this stage. And that looks pretty good. Okay, let's rename this. It's the, I guess this is a larger version of the L5 lantern. So the 5A was the attempted recovery version, which was a bit of a failure. We will call this the L5B lantern pincushion. Alright, let's head to the launch pad. Send this thing to the Mün. Okay, everything looks good. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition, and liftoff. Well, thrust to weight ratio is pretty poor on takeoff, but that is okay. It's going to do our usual turn once we reach about 70 to 100 meters per second. Okay, should probably try steepening our trajectory somewhat. We've got to be careful once we kill our engine that we don't start tumbling. It's actually not really the worst thing, but it'll be very easy for this to get out of control because the probe core still doesn't have that much torque, so our engine gimbal is the main method of control. Okay, apoapsis is now above 70, and yeah, we're going to start tumbling. Just as I thought we would. Apoapsis is starting to come down now. I think let's try to fire our engine up just a little bit to get this back under control. So we're a little bit higher, then I can throttle it off. Won't have to fight the atmosphere so much. Let's see, I have installed the trajectories mod, so you can see where we would land if we re-entered. But hopefully that's not what we are going to be doing. So let's just... then like that, 75, 72, good enough. Okay, we are in space. Just going to eject our fairings now. Just getting ready to burn. I should probably start the burn. Don't know how long it's going to take our upper stage engine. See, this is circularizing pretty quick. Don't want... okay. That's good. So our main stage will re-enter. Looks like it had just enough fuel. Get our periapsis up high enough. Ooh, our apoapsis is going way up there. That's not quite right. Alright, are we going to need to raise our periapsis, or can we depart right away? Where's the Mün? There it is. Yeah, we're gonna have to raise that. Okay, let's warp to apoapsis. Can I not? Yes, warp here. You can see I've re-added city lights. Kerbin's populace was tired of having the Dark Skies initiative imposed upon them. This, the textures here are from the what's it called? Stock visual enhancements mod for environmental visual enhancements. Quite like them. They're a little too twinkly, but they're pretty good. Let's just toggle all this stuff. Yeah. Very space probe-y looking. Okay, let's point... no, not retrograde. Prograde. And I'm just going to kick our periapsis up out of the atmosphere. Okay. Now let's do a little bit of science. So let's log the magnetometer. Not sure how to pronounce that. Initial scans indicate a large magnetic field surrounding Kerbal. Its intensity decreases with increasing altitude. Okay, we will keep that. And let's log the radio plasma wave data. Characteristic plasma wave patterns confirm the presence of multiple Van Kerman radiation belts. Good stuff. I think those are both low space readings. We can get some new science once we are at high space. I'm not going to transmit that data back to Kerbal just yet, since we are not charging our batteries. We will need the power. So I'm going to wait until we are on the light side. So let's just warp forward. Going to do our usual Mün transfer maneuver by eye. Just as soon as the Mün comes over the horizon, then you burn towards it in prograde. Oh, what's that? What, the spyglass satellites? I'm not sure. That's neat. It's Eve and Jewel and Moho. And okay, we are on the light side now, charging our batteries. So let's transmit the data. I wonder if there's anything we can get here for mystery goo. Oh, a very teeny amount. Probably not worth it. Probably some better stuff we can get around the Mün. Really, we've pretty much exhausted all the data we can get from the mystery goo. Just had to bring it along for that contract. And the accelerometer is really pretty useless up here, but hey, they wanted us to bring it, so that's what we're doing. Okay, how far are we from departure? Okay, getting pretty close. So let's turn ourselves prograde. Where are you, Mr. Mün? There you are. I miss how the Mün had a bit of a glow to it with my old environmental visual effects configurations. They were based partially on the Astronomer's visual packs, sort of a hybrid between the Oblivion and Interstellar releases of that pack. And it had a nice glow effect to the airless worlds, but with the 1.1 version of environmental visual effects, I haven't been able to replicate that. This is a little unfortunate. But Kerbal's looking nice. Changed up my cloud configurations a bit. Okay, just going to wait out the burn here. And stop. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can get a periapsis to appear. There we go. Okay. So we are going to cruise up to the Mün. So let's just time warp forward until we are past 250 kilometers above Kerbal, and then we can do our high space experiments. Goodbye, Kerbal. Okay, we are at high space now. So let's do some more experiments. Log magnetometer. Magnetometer? That sounds right. Okay. Kerbal's magnetic field spans several planetary radii, protecting its atmosphere from the solar wind and cosmic radiation. Yes, very important. And the RPWS. Auroral chorus radio waves are detected emanating from Kerbal's poles, indicating the presence of geomagnetic storms. Alright, keep that as well. Good stuff. Let's check our mystery goo, see if there's anything we can glean. 0.3. Probably not worth it. I'll reset that. Now that I say that, maybe I won't find anything better around the Mün, but I'm hopeful. Alright, let's transmit again. Alright, we are going to carry on to the Mün. We'll check back in with the pincushion when it reaches the Mün sphere of influence. Nadia and Kirksey need a bit of experience with our equipment and the way we do things here. So to facilitate that, I designed this new rover, which was intended to replace the venerable R1 runabout. So this is the R2 Caravan. Used the ruggedized wheels that became available with advanced polymers. It's a hybrid solar electric and internal combustion engine vehicle. We're using the same gas generator as the runabout did. And it's also got the large solar panels on the roof there. It has a Kerbal attachment system winch on front and back. Lots of space for equipment in the back. Big suite of science experiments. And plenty of life support as well. The wheel physics are still a little bit iffy from the 1.1 update. Here you can see an earlier prototype of this vehicle. This is when I was testing it without Kerbals, and you can see it had a little bit of an issue. When things are clipped through the wheels, you get some bizarre forces happening. Additionally, this new R2 Caravan features a large dish antenna to transmit science back to KSC. We've got the magnetometer boom here, which apparently does work on planetary surfaces. The rover seats 5 Kerbals, 4 in the main cabin, and then it's got a hot seat on the rear fender. Kirksey's going to sit there for much of our little expedition, so she can get out easily and check our science equipment. Nadia and Kirksey both got some experience operating our surface experiments package. Took a bunch of data readings from around KSC. Tried to glean a little bit more from our older instruments, as well as get new magnetometer data. Be good to have a baseline for whatever we discover on the Mün and Minmus. After KSC, we took the rover out to the grasslands, the shore, and eventually the highlands. Started to get dark by the time we were coming back, and we got back to the astronaut complex later that night. And overall, it was a pretty successful training and science gathering mission. Now we're going back to check in with the pincushion on its way to the Mün. Okay, we have reached the sphere of influence of the Mün. can just barely see it because the sun is pretty obscuring to our view. Let's see if we get it out of the way. Yeah, you can sort of see it. More obvious in map view. See, here is the orbit for our contract. So our periapsis is quite a bit too low, but we are going to start by doing our capture burn anyway. So we're just going to barely get captured, and then we will start tweaking our orbit from there. Okay, I'm going to time warp forward. Node's in an hour and a half. I think this might count as high space above the Mün, so let's see if we can't do some experiments. Log magnetometer. Yes, I still have trouble saying that. Magnetometer. Data. A weak magnetic field indicates that the Mün may have once contained a molten iron core. Okay, and radio plasma wave as well. The Mün's weak magnetosphere forms a series of complex shapes throughout its orbit, distorted by the solar wind and Kerbin's much stronger magnetosphere. Good stuff. Alright, we will transmit that data back to mission control. And let's check our mystery goo again. 0.4 science. Okay. Well, I'm not sure we're going to get much better than that. Our previous missions have spent a lot more time in low Munar orbit than high Munar orbit, so I think we might have gotten more mystery goo observations there. So I'm going to keep that this time. We will transmit it on our next transmission. Okay, now we're going to warp forward to our maneuver node. Okay, we're just coming over the Mün surface now. Node's in 5 minutes. It's quite spooky looking down there. Let's get aligned with our node. Like retrograde. I think we should be able to grab some new science here. So, I'm just going to call it the magnetometer. A weak magnetic field indicates that the... Oh, we're still space high. Okay, we need to get a little closer. I'm not sure how close, though. Our periapsis is at 39 kilometers. That should count as low. Let's just warp forward those additional 5 minutes. Okay, here we are. Let's do our experiments now. Magnetometer. Localized magnetic fields are detected over several regions of the Mün surface. Okay, and radioplasma. Several curious radio wave emissions are detected from various regions on the Mün surface. It's quite possibly related to the mysterious monolith, which we still have not been able to decipher or detect any pattern in its transmissions from the Mün. Now we have a nice Kerbal rise. Alright, and it's time to burn. So let's get ourselves captured. So that, just a little more. There we go. Okay. Now let's transmit our... let's make sure we're receiving power from the sun. Probably want to have our dish more or less facing Kerbal as well. Then we can transmit. Yes, transmit all. Okay, let's check our contract parameters here. So the only thing we need to do is reach the designated orbit now. So let's attempt to do that. We still have quite a bit of delta V, so don't imagine this will be a problem. So first thing we need to do, I think, is to fix our inclination. Oh, what the heck? You silly physics engine. Let's go retrograde a bit and fix this. Okay. So, I want to see where the ascending and descending nodes are relative to our orbit. So I guess here. And then I will want to burn normal, or is that anti-normal? Is normal down or is normal up? And really, which way can be said to be up or down in space? Anyway, that node is 3 hours away, so I'm going to warp there. Again, I'm just using the nodes as a indication of which direction I need to go, because the normal vector changes as your inclination changes. The maneuver nodes don't take account of that. So let us warp forward. There goes that Moonbat automaton debris. Huh. I wonder what bit of the Moonbat automaton I left there. Maybe, I think we did a decoupler test on that mission, so that could be a piece of that. I miss my moon glow. I did try to use Scatterer to give the Mün a bit of a glow, but it looked too much like it had a Skye, which was not what I wanted. Oh, overshot that a bit, but not a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of our node, and then I'm just going to burn normal until the orbits are aligned, or somewhat aligned. It looks pretty good. It's too bad this probe core doesn't have the ability to hold normal. It's still pretty basic, just got stability assist and nothing else. It's actually not significantly better than our old Stay Putnik core. Just a little easier to stick things to because it's more compact and faceted. Okay, so our next maneuver is going to be to bring our periapsis up. So at apoapsis, I'm going to burn prograde and need to get our periapsis up to 536.4 kilometers. Okay, we're just about at apoapsis. Should probably get ourselves lined up in the right direction. No, that's not right. Prograde. So what did I say? 536.4? Alright. Going to do this from this point of view. It's always nicer to see our probe. Just watch the periapsis up here and our Kerbal engineer readouts. $200, $300, $400, 5, oh, a little too far, I think. Yeah, 536.4. So let's flip around. Very sensitive here. That looks pretty good. Yes. I guess that orbit is not really as circular as I thought. So maybe I would like to, yeah, let's push it up a bit more. Okay. So we'll warp around to periapsis and fix our apoapsis. Here we go. I think since there's still quite a bit for our probe to do, and this episode has been fairly long already, I'm going to finish this episode off here and complete our mission in the next episode. Until then, this has been Promi. Thanks for watching.